And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very exciting moment for you. For this is the very first shoutcast of a certain ownage machine. That ownage machine being myself, the red Terran in the corner here. As this is my first shoutcast, believe it or not, I'm sure you're surprised. This is just a very quick game, which was basically kind of a tutorial, instructional video, whatever you want to call it, on how to use force fields effectively. The Sentry force fields, because I have a lot of these new friends, and they're all playing TOS, and basically all they're doing is just spamming the shit out of stalkers. Which is great until you leave Bronze League, and then it's like, oh, why am I losing? QQ Marauders are OP. Which is no longer the case, when you realize how insane force fields are. So basically, I am making this shoutcast in order to hopefully compile it into a complete working functional video to link to my friends to show them how to win as Protoss with the use of force field. So, this was just on a random quick match online in Diamond League when I recently got in there. Redemption as the blue Protoss on the top left, and Ownage Machine as it is spelt, because Blizzard did not make it so I could have, let me count, 13 characters. Well, that was embarrassing. I had to count my own name. Who dear. Okay, so, pretty standard build so far. Terran going barracks and gas. That's can mean anything really. It doesn't necessarily mean bio. It means it could mean factory, because usually you don't get second gas until what, 17. So we're getting both players are scouting. The probe is going to his base. He will be scouting a barracks. Not that refinery, but he will be scouting the other one, and a almost orbital command. And it doesn't really give a lot away, because still, at this stage, this is what a factory build would look like. There is not much difference until you see the second gas pop down instead of a second barracks. So that's what he's waiting for, really. He's waiting for the second barracks, so he knows that I'm going bio. But of course, the Marine chased him out just in time, so he was unable to properly tell what tech I was going. But it's pretty obvious that I will go bio, otherwise, you know, it's not very good against Protoss if you go factory. Got some Muling going, getting my second barracks, so now I definitely am going bio, as I knew, because I was playing. And the Protoss going cybernetics core after barracks, which is pretty much just every single game. People always do that, like, unless they go for a fast nexus, but even still, you need the core, because come on, Zealots can't do shit against anything by themselves. You just get concussive shelled, you just get destroyed. Anyway, so at this moment we're still, Ownage Machine's still building more barracks, more Protoss players building stalkers. Surprise, surprise, stalker spam. So there's a familiar build so far for my little newbie Protoss fans, is early stalkers. However, he did get a Zealot before his stalker, which I noticed isn't usually standard for stalker spam, but it is pretty important, because if the Terran player goes for like a 2 racks Marauder fast expand kind of thing, the one stalker by himself will just lose by the concussive shells and really put them behind, which puts all this pressure on, which basically just kind of secures the expand for the Terran player. So the armies both actually ran past each other, which is a little bit inconvenient for the Protoss player, because now there is 3 units in his base against nothing. So he's going to walk along, and then he's going to see that and go, oh shit, and he's going to pull back to his base. So they're running now. He put some probes to take care of this threat. They've just been kited, unfortunately, taking some damage, heavy damage, cutting off a lot of mining, trying to get some kills in. However, my micro was a little bit sloppy here. As seeing the stalkers coming, I'm going to try and finish off as many probes as I can. I only ended up taking out 2 in the end, or 3. Which wasn't bad, considering they were probes and it cut a long time of production. So I've got 3 barracks running, 2 tech labs, and a reactor, as well as a command center on the way now, being completed. Which I like to do that. This is my standard bio build, because basically against Protoss, you just want so many Marauders. And so getting 2 tech labs compared to 1 reactor will allow you to do that. Because although you probably will have roughly the same numbers of Marines and Marauders, the cost, the ratio of Marauders will be a lot compared to the Marines. However, it's rather unfortunate that I'm going Marauders against 3 Sentries, 2 Zealots, and 1 Stalker. Basically, against, you know, that composition, you want Marines, just because Stalkers... I mean, so Marauders just don't do enough damage. Marauders are just like a bulk, just destroy Stalker and slow with concussive shells. They don't really deal enough damage, unfortunately. So as you can see, the force field cut off that Marauder, preventing the kite. If it weren't for that force field, that Marauder would have just kited freely, but now he died as a result of those force fields. So this is basically force field is to cut off a kite, because good Terran players, anyone really, will just keep kiting, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move, stop, move. But when you force field behind them, it just prevents them from doing so. So watch this. Force field right behind them, so they can't kite. He can't stop micro back. So now they're caught in this force field, just getting mashed apart by these zealots. There's just nothing they can do against this force field zealot combination of just, you know, you can't kite, you just have to stay there and just get your face beaten in by these zealots. Because zealots, they're really cost effective when they're engaging in melee, but for the most part, they just get endlessly kited. Which is what the force field is for, is to synergize with the zealots, really. So, because he went 4-gate, as opposed to my particular, and he has so many units, so many stalkers, Sentry, so he can just keep force field spamming. So, I see this, I go, shit, just bail. I cannot hold the command center. Just try and float across my base, get some defenses up, hold the ramp. However, due to force field, they're going to cut my army right off in half and prevent me from kiting. See, look like that. I cannot kite. So, I'm just moving there, just getting mashed apart, not even attacking, because I'm just panicking, trying to escape these force fields. However, without those force fields, I would have just endlessly kited with stim, eventually, with, you know, concussive shells. So that was a bit of a demo of just how vital force fields are with a Protoss army. So basically, in order to play Protoss, you're going to have to learn Stalker Micro, Sentry, I keep saying Stalkers, Sentry, Micro, and just force field behind the blobs so they can't stop Micro or kite. Even, especially also the Guardian Shield, it makes such a big difference to Marine damage, because it's like a third of their DPS just gone. You need Sentries, really. Just please build Sentries if you're going toss. You just gotta keep in mind though, is Sentries do cost a shitload of gas, so they will set your attack back significantly. You're gonna have to get your robo a lot later on. But however, the difference is just vital. Anyway, this was the purpose of my shoutcast done, to show you how insane force field is. So I hope you have learned something or two, and you've enjoyed my very first shoutcast. Any questions? No? Well, you've been a great audience. Thanks for listening. Alright, well, toodles!